Yeah. Okay. Hey, ready? Calling the meeting of the Inland Wetlands Agency for Wednesday, February 22nd, 7 p.m. And we are joined tonight, Locke. Is Courtney up there?
Yep, I don't see him.
Savage
Yeah.
and Osterwick. And okay. Any, I wasn't sure with this public hearing and consideration and,
And Courtney just joined us.
okay, and joining us is Courtney.
So we carry
There you go.
those on the agendas regardless of whether or not we have.
Oh, okay.
Hearings. So we do not have public hearings.
No.
Right.
No, I don't remember seeing that there for a long time.
Mhm.
Oh, my God. See? Any public communications?
I don't have any, but there may be somebody in
yeah.
the audience. There we
I
go.
would like to speak.
Yes,
Is it my time?
yes.
Wow, you guys are,
Hearing from Cindy Fortner.
do I introduce myself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. My name is Cindy Fortner. I live at 45 Prospect Street in Mystic. I just want to let you know that I've been a Mystic. I've been a Connecticut Master Gardener for about 25 years. I am the current chair of the Groton Communications Committee. And I am also a member of the Groton Pollinator Pathway Group. It's recently formed. So I love plants. I love animals. I love creatures of all kinds. And thank you for listening to what I have to say tonight. So we live at the home next door to 49 Prospect Street, Mystic. Our properties abut one another. There's an application before you this evening asking to remove a mature red maple on the property. So about 6 years ago, without the agency's permission, a healthy mature maple tree, which sat inches from my property line, was removed by the previous lot owner, not the current lot owner. Now another mature maple will be removed from the lot next door. I don't blame the Browns, the current owners. I would not want the tree so close to my home either. It's not in good shape. But the end result is that 2 mature red maples will have been removed within the last 6 years from basically right next door to me. We're up against the wetlands. Does anyone here know how much water a mature red maple uses in one growing season?
I don't.
I should have brought a candy, maybe.
Yeah.
According to the USDA, a mature tree can use up to 11,000 gallons of water in one growing season. That's a mature, and this is a mature maple, you know. The other one also, which was taken care of, they were mature maples. Probably what? 50 feet. I don't know. They're big. You know, that's probably big. The manipulation of the soil at 49 Prospect Street has already increased the amount of water downstream on both of our properties. It is in the best interest of both of us property owners to add plants that are thirsty and can mitigate the loss of both trees and undergrowth. When trees are removed, so is the shade they provide. We will be extremely sad to say goodbye to this mature tree. There will be nothing there to shade our property or our homes. Replacing the maple with shadlow and plethora, as has been proposed, is a good start. However, I do not believe that 3 shadlows that max out at 20 to 25 feet and 5 plethora will do the trick. There should be, I believe, there should be at least 2 more sets of similar plantings. I would like to propose that another tree, a species that likes wet feet, such as a river birch or red maple, be planted in the wetlands area where the maple will be removed. I mean, there's not exactly where but somewhere in the area near the wetlands. A Baldwin burlap 2-inch caliper specimen is mature enough to grow quickly and naturalize in the area. The area should be allowed to naturalize and support the preservation of the wetland soil structure, provide needed shade and eventually naturally for water. In addition to planting a new tree, the maples currently growing in the wetlands on the Browns property are becoming smothered with invasive vines. it's our hope and to the will be advantageous to everyone if those vines could be removed to support the growth of the young trees in the wetlands area. Can I ask a question during this, during my talk?
Good question, Deb.
If you allow it. Sure.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I have a question about the reduction of the wetlands barrier, which is also being proposed. I'm just concerned that if, well, I'll read it and then maybe you guys can answer the question.
Just so you know, Cindy, this is the first time they have seen this application, so they have not even had a presentation. of it.
Okay,
So
all right,
just
all
keep
right.
that in mind.
Okay, all right. I'm almost done anyways, so. So I question the reduction of the wetlands barrier from 40 feet to 25 feet. A smaller buffer leaves the property less area to absorb water and a larger footprint for future development. While it would be easier to simply dig everything up and plant new, that approach does not respect wetlands soil structure. I believe that new plants should be installed in the buffer while and you have to remove there's lots of weeds and invasive in that space. They need to be cut down, removed, replaced with native plants. Over time, these native plants will shade out the weeds, we hope. It's not as easy as going in there and bulldozing it all up in the buffer, but much better for the surrounding soil. But my question is as I've talked with Paul, the developer, and the very lovely people who are building the home, I'm leaving it up to you guys as wetlands officials, and you have a lot more information, in front of you than I do. Our property at 45 Prospect Street is surrounded by wetlands on its lower edge. When we first moved in, the wetlands rules were unfamiliar. Certainly, it can seem difficult to work within the town's constraints at times, but the rules protecting wetlands are there for a reason. Many new building projects have chipped away one small piece at a time at the buffers protecting wetland soil. This has led to problems across the nation when water has nowhere to go. I believe the additional 10-foot setback, which has already been granted to the property, is a parameter that may be able to be worked with. That the added difficulty is worth the long-term benefit. Thank you very much for listening to me. I really appreciate it. I just think we need to make sure that there's lots of native plants in the place of the removed red maple, which I'm putting the cart before the horse. Once you see the pictures of it, I can't imagine you're going to want it to stay. But the red oak is 60 to 80 feet. Let's plant the shadblow serviceberry, which is being proposed, is 20 to 25 feet, and a lovely, lovely, lovely plant. And a river birch, which is quote, a greedy consumer of water, is 40 to 50 feet. So there's lovely choices that we can put in there if you guys decide to remove the maple. And I appreciate your thoughts and your thoughtfulness with regard to this property. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can we ask questions?
I think it's better if you wait until the application is proposed, and then you can,
Yep. Are you ready for me?
nope, next minutes.
Okay, so the next item is the approval of the minutes from February 8th.
Second.
A motion?
Oh,
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Motion has been made. Is there a second? Okay, motion made in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
If there's no opposed, aye.
just for the record, you've appointed folks for Eunice and Dave. So yeah, I think you need to make that clear that you're appointing the alternates for Eunice Sutphin and for Dave Scott, so
Okay.
they can vote.
Yes. Okay. All right, even on all the votes.
Right,
even the
exactly,
minutes and so forth.
Exactly.
Okay, so we will be substituting David Scott and Eunice Hudson. And the stand-ins will be Osterwick, me, and Gary Robbins. And Courtney.
And Courtney.
And Courtney McCracken. Hi, Courtney. Is Barbara on? Do we need to?
Oh, yeah, but
Okay.
you're right, Barbara is
Yeah.
here, so there we go.
Also to,
Alternate.
yeah, and we note that Barbara Williams is also joining us. through video, and she will also be appointed as a.
She's a regular member, so she's good. Yep, we're good.
Okay, now, do we have any new applications?
Just the one that's listed on your agenda, 49 Prospect Street.
Right,
Now it's you.
okay.
Okay, hello, everyone. My name is Paul Lucier. I'm a builder. And I'm building the house at 49 Prospect Street, right next to these folks, and they've been excellent, gracious to us. They've let us use power from their home while we've been working there. It's really been we're not looking to reinvent the wheel with this whole thing. We just, as you can see on the map, there's two maps actually.
Yeah, they'll pull it up in a minute.
Yeah, can you pull that?
So I brought the map that was actually approved last year too, so that we could. So that if you wanted to do that. So a little over a year ago, we applied for a wetlands permit for this property. And asked for a 25-foot buffer and asked to remove that tree. We couldn't really tell if the tree was good or bad at the time, but it kind of, this comes out of the ground. I'd like to show.
Yeah, I kind of remember it actually from the.
Pictures here of it.
Yeah.
That really is the picture that you want to see right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So. So the tree it really didn't matter to us much that we got the 40, we were happy to get the 40. And we were fine to keep the tree, and I definitely understand that the tree absorbs a lot of water, so we don't want to create a problem with that. However, that tree is going to fall on this folks' house, because it is definitely, it has a giant limb already that's fallen to the ground. And it's kind of hanging over the house right now. So with what we got approved last year, it clearly stated that if we, anything with that tree, we need to have a licensed arborist look at it, which we did. In the corner of this plan right here is actually a quotation from a licensed arborist, Richard Cullen from Tomorrow's Trees. And he suggests removing the tree primarily because it's gonna fall. He said, the tree right now is closed. Put a bunch of leaves on that tree come this summer. It's gonna add a lot of weight to it. Used to have other trees around it to protect it. Now it doesn't have any of that stuff. So one good windstorm and I have a nice insurance job, but I don't really want an insurance job. I just want to finish their home and get them in there and be done. So that's why we're asking to remove the tree. And we want to remove the tree, but we only want to cut it down right to grade. We don't want to dig it out of the ground. We don't want to disturb the wetland that's there. We don't want to hurt any of that. So we really just want to cut it down to the ground, and then we want to put a bunch of plants in there that will grow. And we listed what they are, and I'm not a planter, I'm just a builder. Sawdust, I understand, not so much.
So you're leaving the stump there.
What's that?
Leaving the stump.
Leave the stump. Cut it as low to the ground as possible.
I just this messes everything up. All right, I did some of this online, and I think that's worth.
That's right. And just for the folks who are,
Did you bring this?
yeah. So here's,
Yeah.
Should have.
So, while building this house, we encountered, it was basically the dumping ground for the subdivision. Pulled a lot of rocks and stumps and things out of there. And we also encountered a fair amount of ledge that we had to deal with to put the foundation in. And we created a lot of really big rocks that we'd like to use. We'd like to build a really nice wall surrounding the back of the property. But right now, with it being a 40-foot setback, we're right about here. Oh, geez, probably shouldn't.
yeah, it's a touch screen. Just be careful.
Should I touch it or not?
No, it's good.
So it's in this general area right here that's the 40-foot line. That's why we're kind of proposing to go back to 25 if we could. I don't care that much about over here. One corner, just don't touch the screen, but it works.
And just so you know,
That
the
gets
people,
me out of the way.
the folks who are watching cannot see what you're pointing at. You point on here, so it picks up on the screen. So, yeah, so show on here where it is. that-
All right.
Yeah.
So currently the 40-foot buffer is right around here. So we're proposing to move this back 15 feet so that we can work on the tree. We can do our plantings, we can build our wall. And then we can grade things much easier to that wall, which will also help with runoff and that type of thing, rather than have a heavy slope that's gonna possibly be in that location. It'd be a good way to get rid of all the stone that's on the site. And if different types of trees, taller trees, I don't think that is a problem at all. I think we want to put in whatever makes the most sense for the commission. And whatever makes the most sense.
Seems
for
to me in the sidewalk, when we sidewalk, there was some talk about the positioning of the house.
Yep.
And the option for moving that away from the wetlands. I've forgotten.
Yeah,
you
someone
speak to the
proposed putting it over in
alternatives?
here
Yeah,
and, they want to potentially put a pool down the road.
Yeah.
They'd come back to the commission. They'd like to have a yard. They have little kids. They want to have, possibly more of a family. So,
The foundation is already there, right?
the house is built.
Yeah.
It was done.
Yeah.
so, yeah.
And not only that, this house is in the same general, that's Cindy's house is generally
Yeah.
about there. This is here.
the end
This
of
house
the
is right here.
cul-de-sac,
It
yeah,
kind of works. They kind
Yeah.
of flow with each other.
yeah,
We definitely took that into consideration when we wanted to make it so that kind of.
Yeah.
blends with the neighborhood,
yeah.
and that's why we located it where we did. So,
So I've got the original plan that you all approved with me that shows the 40-foot setback for your, so this is the approved plan. You may recall, when the subdivision was approved, a 50-foot regulated area was placed on all these wetlands. That was quite some time ago. And when you approved this plan, you allowed them to get within 40 feet of the wetland. And as noted, one of the conditions was that if this tree is to be removed, you wanted an arborist report and another permit.
Yeah.
So again, along with the request to remove the tree is also to get within 25 feet of the wetland instead of 40 for the reasons cited. So
like I said, over in this area, doesn't matter as much. 40 feet could probably still work. Really, it's this general area right here that we would like to move things back a little bit. That would give us this is all invasive. Everything in here is all high. What do they call those things?
Phragmites.
Yeah.
Phragmites.
Bunch of-
Yeah,
it's-
invasive.
And they're all through over here.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. So we'd love to do something a lot prettier and a lot
Yeah.
better than what's there.
So is that the reason for wanting this smaller buffer? Is it,
That's
mainly
part of the reason.
aesthetics and?
Aesthetics, being,
Yeah.
again, being able to work on this tree and work on this area without, we don't want to do any damage to it.
No,
But, we'd like to be able to use up the stones that we have, and that would, like I said, would help with the grading of everything. It would make a much better situation in the back of the house, but it is what it is. We can't do it.
what kind of equipment do they need to get in there to remove a tree?
So the tree person said, the arborist said, what they would do is they have a small sort of a track machine. And this tree would be done with someone would climb the tree and cut the limbs
Yeah,
off.
from the top.
And
down.
then the limb, because really, they can't just drop the tree because it's too close to the house.
Yeah,
So they would limit and then they would pull everything out with a small machine. There is you can tell that right here, there's a slope. And so they would basically drag everything up to the driveway area and get rid of it, chip it, whatever they're gonna do to it. Actually, we were talking with the homeowner about potentially using part of that tree, maybe to build a mantle or something like that. Just tree's been kind of a pain in the neck. So we feel like we should try to use it if we can. So, yeah. I would love it if the tree was a much better tree.
Yeah.
I really don't want to deal with it, to be totally honest with you, but it's a problem and I'd like to help them with it.
yeah. It doesn't bother me so much, the tree,
Yeah.
but moving closer to the wetlands.
Yeah.
Having a little trouble.
I understand.
Yeah,
So is this something that you would want to site walk again to take a look at conditions on the ground? You can't make a decision tonight.
Anyway, yeah, well, it's really close to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah,
easy
and I
for
mean,
me to go over there on my own, and I just remember it being very overgrown. But also it was pretty wet,
Mhm.
and there's a downslope, and, you know, it's a pretty
You know,
nice wetland, and
and I know, I know that you guys had, like you said, you didn't understand wetlands and that type of thing when you built, but this wetland continues through here. This is all,
yes.
this is all lawn back in here.
Right.
So, you know,
Well, that's kind of what concerns me, because get a lot of separate
Sure.
applications, and you give a little bit here, and
yeah.
pretty soon you're starting to.
All of a sudden you got a 10-foot wetland.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's kind of a concern, you know?
Yep.
But I'd like to look at it again, and,
Sure.
you know, we can't make a decision. I don't know.
I mean, you're saying that change the distance is strictly an aesthetics reason? Or, I mean, granted, you'd want to take the tree down, but is that the real reason for this? And so you now have a place to pile up those rocks and.
Yeah, well, it
mean-
definitely helps with that. I mean, aesthetics will be definitely, I really feel like the grading of everything, it'll be a much easier way to grade this area right here. Right now, it's gonna be a heavy slope into the wetland, and that's gonna toe into a silt fence that's currently there that we're gonna remove, and you're definitely gonna have runoff into that wet.
Yeah, well, you talked about using some of those stones, you know, at the,
Right, so then that kind of shows you. what-
why couldn't a wall be constructed up closer to the house?
We
And
could,
that
it
does
could,
show on this
it
plan.
could,
as a
we
matter
would,
of fact.
that we would do it.
Yeah.
If we don't get the approval, we'll build a wall here.
Yeah,
But, you know, we thought if we could get approval to move it back a little bit, we thought that would be a better way to.
I understand.
And I know this shows a heavy slope here,
Yeah.
only because this is just something that we drew up to kind of give you an idea. We'd have it professionally done.
Well, I haven't been
By the
over there since the house
Mhm.
went up, since the foundation.
It looks like a bomb went off right now because there's
Yeah.
just a bunch of dirt back here.
Yeah,
You know, we're coming into the growing season, so we want to get this stuff done. We want to get it graded, we want to get them in their house. And get the grass growing for the summer.
I can understand.
So that's where we're at.
Okay, so any other questions, or?
No, I would like to see.
Thank you.
So are you gonna look at this on your own?
Yeah,
Or-
I think that was the decision that we just go over on our own.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. I was wondering if we could get a proposed cross-section through that proposed wall showing presumably there'll be some fill behind it. And I would guess, just to see, you know, what's the end product gonna look like?
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we'd have to have this redesigned anyway by the surveyor, so we could definitely do a cross section.
And we haven't had a staff review yet, staff review meeting, but I do know we'll be asking for a more detailed planting plan, a more detailed. proposal of the work he wants to
I
do
basically
in that
talked to a landscaper and said, what do I put?
Yeah, how the invasives are gonna be removed, how, you know, how new plants are gonna be planted, what's the.
All that, yeah.
method of doing it, yeah.
Hey,
Right.
so because we can't vote on it anyway. Yes, we'll discuss it again.
I do have one question. Though. Would it be possible to make a decision? I know you can't make a decision tonight, but on removing of the tree. It has one or.
Even that.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm saying, after the 14 days, I'm just really thinking the tree's gonna fall down. It's not looking good. Limbs are popping off this thing and laying on, and I'm afraid to cross over the silt fence to even go touch any of that stuff.
Yeah,
But I'm just.
yeah,
concerned.
you want to get it done. Do we need to classify this as a new application?
If
really?
you're comfortable making the
Yeah.
classification, sure.
Yeah. You know, I would think that this would be a minor. And so if anybody. We could classify it tonight, we'd have that out of the way. So,
What is the advantage that it moves things?
Exactly, quickly, yeah.
yeah,
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
okay, so.
We do need a motion for that.
To make a classification of the Prospect Street property, minor or? Minor, So done.
So done.
So.
So done.
Second. We're moving right along. It's been a long day. Okay, so I make, we made a motion in a second to classify Prospect Street as a minor. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Oh, good, thank you. Those are great pictures. Really? Where did they have them done?
Oh, I thought they came out a little dark, but they.
Where was it? Prince. Oh, yeah, I know where you.
Those guys are great.
Okay, so we're gonna do that on our own. We're just gonna look at this property again. You know, at your convenience.
Permission to go on the property.
Oh, do we have permission?
Permission to
No
go on the
problem.
property.
And, right, and you
Yeah, it's
do
probably
really
a little
do the
easier
application.
than try to. Is that all right with you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so there are pending applications, the Oat Barn on Campbell.
Yes, the applicant has decided to withdraw her application until a future time when she has a more, more developed plan for the space, as well as can address some of the outstanding issues, which I'm sure you saw as part of the agenda packet. So
Yeah, thank you. I just went to look at it again today. And I'm. Okay, thanks.
Yep.
How about the driveway and Elm Street? Is there any more on that?
So as I mentioned at the last meeting, the Susan Matern was trying to hire a soil scientist. The applicant has lined up Joe Thoreau, and he will be coming to the next meeting to address the quality of the wetlands on the site. He's finalizing his report right now for the next meeting.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right, thank you. And then there's the notice of violation at 193 Godfrey Road.
Yes.
Right, so I'm going to lay out, we do have a revised planting plan that was included in your packet. So we'll get this up on
I
our
remember
screen.
you doing that, but I couldn't remember property.
Right.
Oh, the map.
We'll let the property owners present the plan.
Oh, yeah. now-
Here she comes.
You guys have no questions? Okay.
We're done.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
And let's do the overhead. Now we need to do the spotlight. I know, right? We're gonna get this. Okay,
See you in a little bit.
okay, so the plan has been revised with new shrubs as recommended by a landscaper, and all that the Sarika's go ahead and tell you what they want to do.
They're muted.
They are.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, nope. Almost.
Hello?
There we go.
Yes, there you go. Okay.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
we can now. Yes, thank you.
All right, again, good evening. Bill Sirica here again. I spoke to Tom Schaefer from Holdridge Farm Nursery. As we were speaking, he said he would set aside 4 native bushes for planting on or before April 15th of 2023 on the property at 193 Godfrey Road, as that's what we're here for. We're going to plant them along the 50-foot buffer area where trees were removed. The 4 bushes and shrubs are gonna both, one of them was a 3 to 5 gallon pot, 2 to 3 feet in height. And the first one will be a native pussy willow. The second one will be a 3 to 5 gallon pot again, 2 to 3 feet in height, native red twig dogwood. The third would be another 3 to 5 gallon pot, 2 to 3 feet in height, native vibranium spice bush. The fourth, again, will be a 3 to 5 gallon pot, 2 to 3 feet in height, a native azalea. Or all 4 said bushes will be planted by Holdridge Farm and Nursery again in the April timeframe, which Tom did recommend between the 1st and the 15th, if that's acceptable for everybody.
So I think the shrubs are more appropriate here rather than trees. There's still a decent
Yes.
canopy out there, even though there a couple of the trees were
Yeah.
removed. So I think shrubs are more appropriate here. So they're looking for guidance from you
Yeah.
as to the species, and if you're comfortable with it, what we'll do is we will, when it comes time for the CO, I mean, we will make sure that that's inspected, that those things are in before we
Perfect.
sign off on the CO.
Can you just remind us about how much square footage this is, this planting area?
I believe I couldn't answer that. I don't know that for sure, ma'am.
I just wondered how big that area was.
So there were 3 or 4 trees removed.
Yeah.
There's still some understory.
Yeah.
There's still some tree cover.
Right,
So I don't have a feel for
yeah.
what the square footage is.
But if the guy from Holdridge's recommended them, it's probably.
Yeah. and
It is. I mean, it's a
native
little
plants,
wetland pocket there,
Yeah.
so it just, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. No, it sounds like he's gotten good recommendations. I mean, so I don't have any problems with that. We could, I don't know how. Place with
Wondering
native
about
plants.
protection from deer. In my yard, they eat everything unless I put a fence around it.
The one, if I may interject, I live basically 200 feet from that area, and I think we have it exactly, I think, a total of 10 ivivaites, and no deer come up here. I know that's hard to believe, but we haven't seen deer here. Turkeys, rabbits, and that's really it, but nothing's actually eaten them, and which is surprising to all of us here, and we've been here for 5 years.
Yeah, well, do you have arborvitae?
I have them right along the side of the road that go up to the house that we're building. It's on the left-hand side. It's a gray house that we live at now.
And they haven't been eating those.
Nope. And my neighbor, which also has several different various bushes and trees, and nothing's been touching those either. Again, it's uncommon for that not to happen, but for some reason, they're not here in this area. Yeah.
Okay. So can we vote on this tonight? Does it?
Yeah, sure. Just,
Yeah.
that you
Yeah, we
accepted
just-
their restoration plan. Sure.
Yeah. So do we need a motion?
Sure.
For that? Let's have a motion to approve
Or accept the restoration.
or accepting, the restoration plan, 193 Godfrey Road.
Second it.
Okay, not sure we have approved. It's okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All those in favor of approving, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, done.
Thank
Okay, all set.
Thank you, guys. All
right, thank you very much,
As I
Deb.
said, my department has to sign off on your CO, so we'll just make sure that the plants are in before we sign off on it.
Yes,
Great.
ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Good night.
Night. Okay, I have nothing to report. Anybody else have anything they noticed in their camera? There's water in there.
So I do have one thing.
Okay.
So the old Mystic Fire Department on Cow Hill Road.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're aware, they had a fire training facility set up at the Mystic Education Center. And the state has told them, you need to get your stuff out off of here. So they've taken the larger trailer over to their building in Stonington, and they have a small shed that they want to move to their Groton site. So they are going to, or maybe already have, temporarily put it in their parking lot. Okay. But they want to put it. So let me just get you oriented here. Cow Hill Road, okay, here's the fire department. This is their parking lot, all right? This, you can see there
We
are,
had to approve. it.
absolutely, you did.
Yeah.
You can see that there's a wetland back here
Yeah.
and then a
I
slope going
remember
down
that.
to it.
Really steep.
It is, it is. This area is all grass and this is one of their side entrances here.
Okay.
So they want to place this small shed here on the grass on a gravel pad. Clearly it's within the upland review area. I personally don't think it needs a permit, but I wanted to run it by you folks as well. Before I told them it's okay to place it there.
What are they gonna store in the shed?
What did they say they were gonna store in it?
It was not, it was like their normal supply,
Like
like,
hoses?
No,
Yeah.
no, 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 hoses, but, oh, no, I know what it was. It was their
Hazardous
smoker.
material.
No, it was the smoker. They cook for themselves every Friday. They have
Oh.
lunch together and they have a smoker and they're gonna.
Oh, for their Barbie.
Right, exactly. Seriously.
It's not gasoline.
I was
Right.
expecting you to point out a huge area that was going to.
No, it's I mean, it's a
Yes,
garden
so-
shed that you
Yes,
get, you know,
yeah.
at Home Depot. Yeah,
And it's
So
on a grassy area
it's
and
grass,
it's
right?
gravel, there's no cement.
right.
there's
And
no-
it's flat.
And they just pick it up and put it down.
Exactly. Okay, just wanted to
I don't have
confirm.
any trouble with that. I don't think it needs
Do,
it.
do we need a motion?
Not at all. If you just tell me that, then
Yeah.
we'll just deal with, we have a
Yeah.
planning, a zoning thing that we do just to cite it on there and we'll
Yeah.
just take care of it that way. Okay, sounds good.
I
Thanks,
think
guys.
Oh, check, check.
To give us any of the barbecue?
Oh dear, that's not a good shape. Have a motion to adjourn.
Yes, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
All right, great. Thanks, guys.
well.
Good night.
Night.